All right, folks, the live stream portion is live. If you want to check it out, it is at YouTube, YouTube search, Papa Systems Saturday Night Roundtable. And you'll see the stream there. It says there'll be one box that says live. So we'll be getting the camera going live here in just a few minutes. And I'll hopefully see you checking in shortly. WD6 USN. Good evening, Papa System. From the Mexican border in San Diego to San Luis Obispo. From the Channel Islands to Las Vegas, Nevada, and around the world via the internet, you're listening to the Papa System's most unique net, the Saturday Night Roundtable, on the fastest growing system here in Southern California. My name is Darren, and my call sign here is WD6USN, and I'll be your net controller for tonight. So please direct all your transmissions to me. We call this the Saturday Night Roundtable because it's formatted as a roundtable discussion. You can check in, and we'll have discussions about various subjects. You're welcome to recheck and come back if you have any more additional comments once everyone has had a chance to check in. Please note that emergency traffic may come at any time. So with that said, I'd like to pause for any emergency or priority traffic. If anyone has any emergency traffic, please come now. Okay, hearing none, if you're a visitor to the Papa System tonight, I invite you to go to papasys.com. That's PAPASYS.com and register as a guest. With your guest registration, you'll be granted 45 days of free access to the Papa System. At the end of this complimentary, one-time 45-day guest access period, we do ask that you become a subscribed member to continue to use the Papa System. With that said, all amateurs are welcome to participate in weekly Papa System nets regardless of membership status. All right, folks, just a quick note. As we get ready to kick off the net here, I'll have some announcements. We've got a new batch of announcements, so this will be, well, they're all important to listen to, but this one will be the new round of the next upcoming week of things happening here in the Papa System. So, like I mentioned earlier, we are live streaming, and if you want to participate in the live stream side of things, I do see we've got about 10 people viewing now, And you can find that on YouTube under the Papa System Saturday Night Roundtable. If you search that, you'll find the page there. And go ahead and join. Now, just a note is there is lag. What you're hearing on your radio is not probably perfectly lining up to what you're hearing on your computer. So my advice is listen to one or the other. You can watch, well, I could say you can watch the YouTube and listen to the radio, and then you can make your comments there on YouTube to whoever is talking on the radio and vice versa. With that said, let me pause real quick and we will play this week's announcements. Stand by.
Here are the Papa System weekly announcements. The Papa Orange County Luncheon. Papa will be meeting in person this Saturday on June 28th at 11:30 a.m. at the Sizzler in Fullerton. 1401 North Harbor Boulevard, Fullerton, California 92835. Please RSVP for attendance and for ham license testing at 10 a.m. Everyone is welcome. Come on out and meet your on-air friends in person. We will be offering ham license testing at 10 a.m. for technician, general and amateur extra class licenses. And we will also have a door prize raffle with great prizes to win. Papa Quick Start Program. In conjunction with our test sessions, we have a Quick Start program for newly licensed technicians. Our Quick Start program is designed to get you on the air as soon as your new FCC license arrives and help you understand how to use a radio on the Papa System to communicate with fellow hams. The Papa System will provide you with a pre-programmed UHF handheld radio at no cost to you and assist you with technical and operational issues as you learn more about ham radio. More details are available at the test session and on the Papa website. Papa HFNet. On Sunday mornings at 8 a.m., our host, David KO6BAF, will be calling for check-ins on 40 meters, at or about 7.210 MHz. If you are interested, click the link to add your name and call sign to David's Papa HFNet check-in list on the Papa website. All this information, and a whole lot more, can be found on the Papa website at papasys.com. And don't forget to check your weekly Papa emails. And we do have a Papa Facebook and Instagram page, so check in with us when you can.
All right, always a lot happening here in the Papa System, and if you didn't check out last week's HFNet, pretty new to the Papa System, and it was a good time. So that's tomorrow. Don't miss an opportunity. Even if you don't have your general or extra, you can listen in and see what's going on, and maybe that'll motivate you to finally jump and get that general. All right. With that said, let's see if our fearless leaders out there, Cecil, WD6FZA, off a very successful San Diego luncheon, had a great time. Cecil, are you out there?
Sure. And for those of you that, this is WD6FZA, for those of you that missed Gene's presentation, I did ask him if he could do one or more presentations on a very interesting topic that you should go back to the Papa website and get up to speed on it. He will probably do at least one more, and it'll probably be at the for the Palm Springs meeting, the first Saturday in October, I believe. Yeah, it was a great meeting, well attended, and for those of you that haven't made the trek up to Cocina Luchado, you're missing out a great luncheon and a great buffet. So with that, have a great net. We'll be listening. Thanks for calling on me, and we will be listening. Back to Net Control, WD6USN, WD6OZA.
All right, Cecil, thank you very much. And it was a great attendance today, and it was great. I put a few more faces to call signs, and that's always a good thing. So it's always fun to attend down there in San Diego. And we have the OC one next week, so I'm going to see if I can make it up to that one. But With that said, we are ready to kick off the Saturday Night Roundtable, and if we have any newcomers out there, let me fill you in on what's going on in this crazy net. This is the one time a week here on the Papa System we cover topics that are anything and everything other than ham radio. Sometimes we talk a little bit ham radio, but for the most part, our topics are vast and various. And as you can see, we're doing some crazy things like live streaming. Sometimes we're doing trivia. Tonight it's a live stream. We usually do it once a month. And as I take a peek at the live stream, I'm seeing 15 viewers on the live stream. And how it works here is, as I'm taking check-ins on the net, periodically I will come back to the comment section on live stream and read what's happening in the live stream. So if you want to add to the conversation on the YouTube side of things, go ahead and add your topic discussion in there, and I'll read it out on the nets. Or you can check in on the net on RF and share your story there and add to it later in the comment section, or vice versa. So that's kind of how it works. And once again, for those that want to check it out, it's on YouTube. If you search for the Papa System Saturday Night Roundtable, you'll find the live video that's streaming there right now. It's live from my ham shack. I'm waving at the camera to the folks that are listening in, and you can get a look at my work in progress ham shack that I constantly always make changes to. Don't give me too much flack for the stack of radios that are not painted. The cabinetry's not done yet, but I'm always evolving and adding things to the ham shack here. So. All right, so everyone that's tuning in is probably wondering, what the heck are we talking about tonight? Let me do a quick reset and I will share the topic. So last month I had the opportunity, great opportunity by the way, to share presentations at all the luncheons about some of the inner workings behind the scenes of the Papa System. And in that, I shared a little bit about what I do for the tech team, and that included a lot of the tower climbing that I do. And often I'm told, man, you're crazy. Now, I don't think I'm crazy. I think I'm calculated, and I do enjoy a little bit of a adventurous lifestyle. My background was quite adventurous, so I have done many crazy things in my life that some people would call crazy. I don't call it crazy. But my question for you, and there is no judgment here tonight on the level of crazy, but what's the craziest thing you've done in your life? Have you jumped out of an airplane, parachuting? Tandem? Have you gone scuba diving in the depths of the ocean, and how deep did you go? Anything and everything's on the table. Or what's on that bucket list? Have you always wanted to do something crazy and you just haven't pulled the trigger yet to do it? Those are the topics that we're going to discuss tonight. We're going to see how, and like I said, there's no winners here on the level of crazy. I'll share a few of my escapades throughout the night here tonight. Like I said, my lifestyle was a bit adventurous in what I did for a living, and my hobbies tend to reflect that level of adventure. So I'll share some silly stories along the way. So that's what we're talking about tonight. I'm going to break this down by analog repeater first. If I can get as I take check-ins, let me get your call sign phonetically and your first name. This way I can call out by your name if I don't get your entire call sign correct. And we'll break it down by repeaters. Let me do a quick reset and we will get started. All right, we're going to start off, I like to start off with Papa repeaters 1 through 10. We'll go analog 1 through 10. Give me that call sign phonetically with your first name. Come now.
Whiskey Tango 6 Tango Brian.
Kilo Oscar 6, Juliet Charlie Alpha, Jeff.
November 6, Hotel Alpha Lima, Hal.
Kilo Charlie 6, Whiskey Tango November, Jeff.
All right, that was the most orderly check-in I've had in a long time. Fantastic, guys. Hopefully the rest of the night can go just as orderly. Let's open it up to 1 through 20. 1 through 20, come now.
November 6th, Alpha, Quebec, Quebec, Dale.
All right, got one more there. Got you, Dale. How about 1 through 30? 1 through 30, give me that call sign phonetically and your first name.
Kilo 6, Delta Victor, Ellen.
Kilo, Oscar, 6, Hotel, Romeo, X-Ray, Gary, Papa 21, and your driver.
All right, let the repeater tones go through there. All right, let's all analog, 1 through 40. Come now.
Whiskey 2, Juliet Papa Mike. John.
All right, let's open it up to the internet. Any Echolink, All-Star, or Digitals, come now.
E6COZ, Tom, San Diego.
All right, I think that's a good list to get us started here in round one. Once again, my name here is Darren, my call sign WD6USN, and this is the Papa System Saturday Night Roundtable. And we're talking about what is the craziest thing you've ever done in your life, or do you have a crazy thing on your bucket list that you have yet to achieve? And like I said, there's no judging here, no level of crazy. No one's getting a trophy with the craziest thing tonight, but if you're living an adventurous lifestyle, and maybe you got that motorcycle, that sport bike, or the craziest, windiest road you've ever driven, I've got a few of those stories in my pocket here, and I'd love to hear from you tonight. And how about you guys in the comment section? Start dropping your stories in the comment section on the live stream, and I will read them on the radio here. So don't be afraid to share your story there. All right, with that said, let's go to the top of my list. Good friend of mine here, Whiskey Tango 6 Tango, Brian. Good evening. Welcome to the Saturday Night Roundtable.
Good evening, Darren. Thanks for doing the net. What a thought-provoking topic here. Of course, the two on your list are on my list as well. I've jumped solo, not tandem, solo out of an airplane, free fall. Dove to 100 feet, a couple places around the world. One of the things that I like to do a lot that might be adventurous is walk around cities I don't know at night. Back when I used to travel a lot, I walked all the way to the ocean in Durban, South Africa, which is something everybody said, you did what? The next day when I was talking about it at the conference. Anyway, great talk. Oh, also got married and had a kid, so who knows about that. Back to net, Whiskey Tango 6 Tango.
You got me laughing. If you're watching the live stream, Brian, you're going to see me laugh as I was taking a drink, and you mentioned walking around at night in some cities where you probably shouldn't walk around at night. That's definitely adventurous. I've had a few of those myself, and I've never done a solo free fall. So I would say bucket list item. I've done a couple tandems. Maybe finally getting my license and doing a solo free fall. Definitely something I'd love to do. So cool. Thanks for checking in, Brian, and sharing those stories with us. And let's continue on down the list here. Kilo Oscar 6, Juliet Charlie Alpha. Jeff, good evening.
Good evening. Thank you, Darren. Kilo Oscar 6, Juliet Charlie Alpha. Jeff here coming in on Papa 3. And sounds like I'm going to be repeating both of your ideas, but I did do a couple of parachute jumps. what's a little bit unique is my first one was the first time I had ever been in a plane. So I got in a plane and never landed because I jumped, and it was a static line jump. But the lesson learned was I had just started wearing contact lenses, and I forgot to put my contact lenses in. So from 4,000 feet, you can't see a landing zone target very well. Back to net control, KO6 JCA.
Well, thank you, Jeff. And it's quite okay if you're going to share similar stories to others. If we all share the craziness of jumping out of a perfectly good airplane, that's okay to share those stories on multiple occasions. So, yeah, fantastic. Thanks for checking in. And it's quite the interesting topic. Like, I think we're going to get quite the various levels of craziness for sure. So let me take a quick peek over on the comment section on YouTube, and I'm seeing a few hellos. I got K6PFN John here waving a hand on YouTube, and Doug KF6 Charlie X-Ray Whiskey listening in from North Hollywood. And then I've got KC6WTN checking in. Love how the live stream lets you be peanut gallery and add some color. I couldn't agree more. It was definitely an unintended or an unexpected thing with when I unleashed this crazy idea of live streaming a net where the two worlds can interact. And what's even more unique is you don't have to have a ham license to interact on YouTube. So on a few occasions, we've had that where folks on YouTube were able to ask a question in the comment section, and I was able to read it on the air and answer their questions. So it's pretty cool how it does. All right, let's keep on moving down the list. A regular here on the Saturday Night Roundtable. Great to see you again today at the luncheon. Make sure I get the call right. N6HAL. Can't miss that call. Hal, good evening. Welcome.
N6HAL. Hal. Thank you, Darren. Thanks for doing the net again and making it fun as usual. I'm not going to follow up with you guys as far as jumping out of an airplane. I've never done that. But I did crawl underneath one that I shouldn't have when I was guarding it in New Mexico. I think the statute of limitations is passed, so I won't worry about that. But when you lean up against the tires of a B-52 to get out of the wind that freezes you to death, that's why we did it. But there's spikes that stick out of those tires, and it kind of goes through your parka. It kind of hurts. So that's not one of the craziest things I did. The other thing would be my former profession is, jumping out of an airplane. Perfectly good airplane's bad, but also walking into a burning building's kind of bad too. Most people don't do that. I did it for a number of years, but it was challenging. It was fun. I enjoyed it. Loved the job. Bucket list right now, I'm kind of shy on bucket list stuff. I want to go up to Ely, Nevada, and operate a steam engine. I lived up there for 5 years temporarily, and never got to Ely to do it. But that's on my bucket list, and hopefully later on under recheck, maybe I'll get my memory jogged tonight, and I'll come back with something else. N6HAL, back to the net. Thanks, Darren.
All right, Hal, I'm smiling over here. You have a couple things on your bucket list that I would love to join in on. Driving a steam engine just sounds amazing. I'd love to give that a whirl. And yeah, jumping out of airplanes is not for everybody. You mentioned something about the Air Force, being under an airplane that you weren't supposed to be under. You guys take that red line on the flight line real serious. And I discovered that the hard way one day as a Navy guy landing his helicopter on an Air Force base. You can't walk across that red line, even if you are going to your own aircraft. That's on the other side of that red line. There's only certain entry and exit points, and boy, they came screaming in and hemmed me up. So I learned real quick that you guys take that red line seriously. So, all right, thanks, Hal, and let's continue on down the list. Kilo Charlie 6 Whiskey Tango November. Jeff, I see you on the live stream as well. Good evening, Jeff. Welcome to the Saturday Night Roundtable.
Yeah, thanks, Darren, and thanks for doing the net as usual. Great to see you live streaming tonight, so that's a nice treat. The of 22, and this is around 1994. Early days of the internet, and I was playing a television game and kind of made really good friends in Seattle. And I was living in East Bay, San Francisco at the time, so I had vacation due to me at work, so I took a week off, and I drove shopping. All have a good little vacation, so that was probably the craziest thing I have done. Yeah, I ended up sleeping a lot once I got up there. And I'll be back in control.
Well, Jeff, I want to say thanks for checking in with the Saturday Night Roundtable, but your signal was bad, and we were not able to catch almost anything that you did say. So let's give it. Do you have another repeater you can give a try? We'll give you one try to pop into a different repeater that might be closer, or maybe bump up that power. If you cannot, go ahead and add it to the comments section, and I'll read what you were saying on the air. Give it one more try.
Sorry, I just switched antennas a couple of days ago, and I thought it was a better antenna. When I was 21 or 22, I met a girl online on a miles. Hopefully I'm getting a little cleaner signal now. KC6WTM.
Not much better, Jeff, at all. What I would say is maybe just drop the comment, and I'll read what you had to say. Otherwise, maybe come back on a different repeater, or maybe move somewhere outside. I don't know what your situation is, but you're definitely not making Papa 1 very well. All right, with that said, let's move on to Dale, N6AQQ. How are you, Dale? Welcome to the Saturday Night Roundtable.
Good evening. This is Dale N6AQQ. It's 67 degrees in Tustin. As far as scary things I've done, I guess probably the scariest was going to iFly, which is indoor skydiving, and because I'm afraid of heights. So I haven't done a whole lot of things that involve heights. So that was probably the scariest thing I've done. Anyway, N6AQQ, back to that. Thanks for doing it.
All right, Dale, thanks for checking in out there in Tustin. And I've done that iFly. That is a really good time. And I found it more difficult than letting gravity do all the work. You really have a good body position and technique. And when you don't have that, you fall off that fan that's blowing you in back into the air. So if you guys haven't had the chance to check it out, what Dale was talking about, there's several of these places throughout Southern California here called iFly. And basically, they put you in a big wind chamber, and you can skydive without having to go through the hassle of jumping out of an airplane. And they could even have an instructor next to you helping you with your body position. So pretty cool way to get the experience without some of the danger. So, all right, again, Dale, thanks for checking in tonight. Let's take a peek at the live stream side of things. Let's see who's out there. I see Ellen. Hi, Darren, K6DV. I'm right back at you, Ellen. We're getting to you, and I'm looking forward to some motorcycle stories coming from you. Here's a great one. This is the part about the live stream that I love. Like I mentioned earlier, we can have non-hams who are looking to get their license check in on the comment section. And Dark, how do you say the last name? Tetrad. Dark Tetrad says he's registered to take his technician exam on June 28th at the Papa exam session. That's fantastic. I'm sure you'll be studied up and ready to go on the 28th. We look forward to having you join the ranks here and doing your first check-in via RF once you get that license. All right, Bob Wan's out there from KJ6 UVT. I see you waving a hand, Bob. Thanks for checking in on the live stream side of things, and don't be afraid to come in on the RF. All right, let's see. Well, you're next in line, Ellen. Here you come. K6DV. Welcome to the Saturday Night Roundtable.
That is the longest squelch tail of anything that ever happened. Darren, you're looking at yourself on the screen. You're just going to have to wait for that. I hope I didn't double with you just then. Okay, you are on delay. Serious delay. Oh, adventures. Now, the motorcycling trips, everybody's done them. Well, everybody I know. So there isn't too much exciting about being scared to do it. I just remember the Cherahalla Highway and the Dragon's Tail back east. That's a good ride. I did it in pouring rain. It was miserable. I hated it. And then that's third-party dog traffic. But I'll tell you when I was really scared. 2 weeks. I'm ready to go to San Diego State as a senior, or as a junior in my second year, and I was following a boyfriend down there years ago when I was young and dumb. And the letter didn't come for acceptance. Back then, you got letters. Not now. You get emails. But I didn't get accepted in time to make the choice to get down there. So my mom and dad said, well, why don't you go on Chapman College's World Campus Afloat? They'll accept you because your brother did so well. So I got on a ship at age 19. In 2 weeks, I had about 12 different shots they had to give me for cholera and yellow fever, packed my trunks, and at age 19, never ever being away from home, I was put on a ship. And thus began a 5-month journey around the world to 20 ports in 19 countries, which changed me forever and made me into the woman I am now by not being afraid of something that unexpected happens to you. You can always make something good out of it. So that's my story, and I'm sticking to it. And if you ever want to sit around a campfire at a camp out with Papa people, I'm planting seeds, Darren. K6 TV, back to you.
Well, thank you, Ellen. And man, I do want to take a motorcycle trip with you one of these days. I'm out of the motorcycle game at the moment, but I can't lie. I've got that itch for that BMW 1200, the adventure bike. I used to ride a CBR 1100 Super Blackbird, and I love that thing. But my back just can't take the body position anymore. The helicopters beat me up, but it would be fun to get on one of those adventure bikes and go for a trip. So, all right, Ellen, thanks. Always a treat, and don't be afraid to come back with a recheck if you have more to share. And taking a look at the live stream side of things, and I see that Jeff popped in there and said he was weird that his signal wasn't working tonight because it was working on Wednesday night. You know, propagation sometimes is just that way. Even here in the UHF game, we've got to deal with some of the wacky propagation. So you might just be having a bad propagation night. But he does say he drove 15 and a half hours from San Francisco Bay to Seattle to meet a girl during vacation in 1994 when he was about 22 years old. Yeah, I've taken a few of those long-distance trips. I flew a helicopter across America. It took us 4 days. You can do that faster in a car, but I did fly a helicopter from San Diego to Jacksonville, Florida, and that was pretty cool because we planned all our fuel stops around some sort of specific restaurant or food that we wanted to go check out. So that was a good, fun, crazy trip for sure. Yeah, I've done a lot of crazy things in my life. I'll share a couple more here as we go, but let's keep on moving down the list here. KO6 Hotel Romeo X-Ray. Gary, good evening. Welcome to the Saturday Night Roundtable.
Good evening, Darren, and the whole crew, and anyone that's out there that's listening. Well, there's a couple of things. One of the things, back in the early days, had a 71 Triumph, and those were the days of Evel Knievel, so riding on one wheel for a block and a half was kind of exciting and thrilling. But I think what tops that more than anything else was scaling a 3-story building with just my hands and my feet on the outside. And when it comes down to being some of the scariest things I think I ever did, it was probably kissing a girl for the first time. Anyway, I'm going to turn it back over to Net Control, KO6HRX.
All right, Gary. You know what's fun about the live stream portion is now you get to see when I'm laughing my butt off behind the scenes here. And you definitely cracked a smile and made me laugh for sure. But scaling a building. I've done a lot of crazy things. I've done a lot of rock climbing. I've done tower climbing. I've rappelled out of helicopters. I've jumped out of helicopters into the ocean with nothing but the use of gravity. But I've never scaled the building. So kudos to you. That's a good one. I got to imagine that can be very difficult depending on the type of structure and how smooth the windows are. Just finding things to grab onto. I bet that's pretty difficult. So I told you, folks, you're going to hear some crazy things tonight. And there's some wacky people out there. And as far as riding a wheelie, I'm envious because it's the one thing I never really mastered very well. I do a lot of downhill mountain biking as a hobby, and I still can't ride a wheelie on my mountain bike or my motorcycle. Not for long, anyway. I don't know. I'm always afraid of looping out and getting hurt. So have not done that. So, all right, Gary, again, thank you for checking in and sharing those stories with us. Don't be afraid to come back or share in the comment section. And I'm going to keep on moving. I'll go one more on the RF side of things, and then we will swing by the comment section here on YouTube and see how things are going. I see 26 people watching on the live stream. That's fantastic, guys. All right, we're up to Whiskey 2, Juliet Papa Mike. John, good evening. Welcome to the net.
Hey, guys. How are you guys doing? I always wanted to ride a bicycle across the country. So I heard about people that did it in the past.
All right, John, pretty noisy on the signal, but we did get you wanting to ride your bicycle across the country. Man, that would be tough. I've seen like YouTube and folks on Instagram doing it for a cause or trying to raise money for charity. But yeah, that would be tough. There's people even walking across the United States. That's tough. You know, with that said, though, I'd love to do the God, I'm going to get the full name of it wrong. The Pacific Trail that goes basically from the border all the way up to Canada. That sounds like a fun walk, though. I don't know that I have the time to dedicate to just walking from the southern border to the northern border. But yeah, riding your bike across America sounds pretty crazy to me. Count me out. But if that's what you want to do, John, add it to that bucket list and make it happen. All right. All right. Let's take a look at the comments section and see what we got going on. I got to catch things up here. KO6JLW waving a hand from Norwalk, California, and waving a hand right back at you. And Jeff, KC6WTN, yep, he checked in again. And KO6HRX, Gary, I see you checking in on the YouTube side of things. All right, let's move on to my good buddy Tom. Good to see you at the luncheon, Tom. K6COZ, welcome to the net.
Good evening, Darren. Thanks for having me. It was great to see you guys. What a great lunch, and got to meet some people there. Guy, sat with him today, and some of the crazy things I have done. My 920 Virago from Tucson to Phoenix at 200 kilometers an hour, nonstop, just purring along there. I think I did it in about 50 minutes, something like that, or less. It was pretty cool at night, one late night there. And climbing Yosemite, crack climbing with a 1,000-foot drop below. That was kind of hairy, just hanging on there, grabbing on the side of the walls. Do a reset. Scuba diving off Guaymas in Mexico at night diving. With whale sharks and manta rays. Whale shark came along. It looked like a submarine. I couldn't believe it. Me and my buddy were at 70 feet, and just looking for lobsters, but we went a little too deep. But man, and huge manta ray came like right after that. So good shot there. I got a couple other things I was going to say, but yeah, I've done a lot of crazy stuff. I'll have to just save it for another time. But yeah, just, man, it's been a good life. Back to you, Darren. Have a good one. Thanks for having me, K6UZ.
All right, Tom, that's quite a list of a few good ones that, man, night diving. If you haven't done it, you got to try it. It's pretty phenomenal. Like Tom said, there's just nothing like it when you've got a light in the water and it just attracts attracts a lot of things. Some of those things can eat you, but it is pretty exhilarating. And to see manta rays and whale sharks at night under the water in their environment, that sounds like a great time to me. And I've done a few things on a motorcycle I'm not proud of, and I don't condone it. But like I said, I lived life to the fullest, and I'm still here to talk about it. But yeah, I've definitely taken my motorcycle above some speed limits that you probably shouldn't take a motorcycle. But I've lived and I've learned, and I'm now smarter for it, and I won't do that no more. But thanks, Tom, for sharing that, and don't be afraid to share more later if you'd like to come back. Sounds like you got quite a few of those stories. But I'm out of check-ins tonight, and I am through all the comments section on YouTube. So let me throw the idea out there. This is Darren, WD6USN, and you are tuned in to the Saturday Night Roundtable, where we are covering the topic of what's the craziest thing you've ever done in your life? Or maybe you got a crazy thing on the bucket list you haven't quite yet achieved. And like I said, there's no level of crazy here. It doesn't matter how crazy it is. Maybe it's crazy to you and not crazy to some. It doesn't matter. Share with us what you've done or what you'd like to do in life, to live life to its fullest. And let's go ahead and get ready to take a second round of check-ins. So with that said, give me that call sign phonetically and give me your first name. Anyone, anywhere. Come now.
Kilo 0, Whiskey Delta Golf, James, Papa 39.
Charlie Juliet X-Ray, Bob on Papa All-Star.
Alpha 6 Mike Bravo, Joe on Papa 8 Whiskey.
All right, let me pause.
6 IWL, Robert of El Mirage.
All right, let me get a pause there real quick and fix a double. I got you, Robert. And there was a Joe in there that ended in Mike Bravo. Give me that call sign again, Joe.
Yeah, it's Alpha Kilo 6 Mike Bravo.
All right, I got you, Alpha Kilo 6 Mike Bravo. There was somebody that doubled with Joe. It wasn't Bob, Joe, or Robert and James. If you weren't one of those four and you did try to check in, come back again.
Kilo November 6 Mike Romeo Golf.
All right, I got that one. Can I get a first name to go with it?
Chris.
All right, Chris, I got you. All right, keep the call signs coming. Anyone, anywhere, come now.
Kilo Golf.
Kilo
Tony Papa 1.
All right, we had
Kilo Oscar 6, Bravo Kilo X-Ray, Evo.
All right, Evo, I got you. And there was a station on Papa 1. Can you come back again?
Kilo Golf 6 Alpha Quebec. Tony Papa 1. K6AAQ.
All right, I got you on that one. All right, is there anyone else? Anyone, anywhere? Keep them coming.
Alpha Bravo 6, Mike Bravo.
All right, I think we got a good second round of check-ins there. Once again here, my name is Darren, WD6USN, and if you want to participate in the live stream side of things, swing by YouTube, search for Papa System Saturday Night Roundtable, and you will see our live stream happening as we speak. Don't be afraid to jump in the comment section and add to the conversation. I will circle back to that comment section every now and then and read the comments. So, with that said, good buddy of mine here, James Cowdog. Welcome to the Saturday Night Roundtable. I know you got some good stories. Let's hear it.
Hey, Darren, thanks for doing the net tonight. I'm coming in on, I guess, Papa 39, Bakersfield. So I'm going to keep it real short, and I think I've told you this story before. It was back in the tower climbing days when I was up on a tower, and I couldn't quite reach some fasteners, and I was tied into my side points. I just flipped over upside down and kind of crisscrossed my legs into a tower bar, and I finished tightening everything up fully upside down, dumped half my tools, and I, of course, had to yell headache to everybody below me because the wrench falling at 150 feet isn't fun. But, and it was dark, so we got the job done, and that definitely got the blood pumping, I'll tell you that. Took me a minute to come down from that one when I got back to the ground. Anyhow, K0WDG, back to net.
Well, James, I'm knocking on wood over here because in all my tower climbing endeavors so far, I have not had a slip like that. And you're right, wrenches falling from 100 foot sends your ground crew scattering. So glad you're able to at least share the story with us, and your safety equipment did their job. But yeah, tower climbing can be challenging, you know. I shared the video at the luncheons that last week or last month, and Hauser Peak. In fact, oh no, you came in on Bakersfield. Hauser Papa 38 was one that I did a full day install. It took me 4 hours on the tower, and yeah, you often find yourself in some predicaments up there that you don't foresee coming, and you just got to work through the problem calmly and safely. I had some equipment and carabiners get locked up on me and kind of put me in an awkward position where I had to hold my own body weight to get the carabiner from unstuck from the way it was, and causing a safety hazard for my equipment. So kudos to you for climbing towers and keeping these antennas running and the systems working. So secretly, I do enjoy going up the towers. I just don't like the skinny ones. You can keep those Roan 25s. I'll take the big self-supporting towers any day of the week. All right, James, again, thank you for checking in, and let's move on to my good buddy Bob, helping me behind the scenes as always. W6CJX. Good evening, Bob. Welcome to the net.
Hey, good evening, Darren. Bob, W6CJX, and you're looking great there on YouTube. Great camera and everything. The angle's perfect. That's your better side, I know. And we get to hear a real cow dog tonight in the background. That was really cool. So thanks for James for that. Well, you're probably going to get this is going to be one of the only crazy things, unless someone else has done this. And I guess I could brag about it a little bit. I've talked about it once before. But I literally, speaking of jumping out of perfectly good moving vehicles, I jumped off of a freight train backwards because I was hanging on the side of it. And it was either that or ride it all the way over Donner Pass from Colfax, Northern California, to down through Donner Pass down to Truckee. That didn't appeal to me too much, so I thought I'd take my chances. I was probably going about 10, 15 miles an hour. I felt more like 50, and I just basically said 1, 2, 3, jump. But I had no idea that the train had picked up speed, well, until it did. But when you hear that clunk and you know it's going to get a little bit faster, my friend just said, jump, get off. So I did, and tumbled into the ballast, you know, the gravel on the side. Let me reset. Head over heels and tore shirts and everything else. And, of course, we had a fire meeting that night. I was with the Bullion Fire Department, and basically we came in right after that, and it was all torn up, and they said, wow, did it happen to you? Fall off a train? Not kidding. That's exactly what the guy said. So, and we're still friends today on Facebook. All right, that's it. So I don't know how many people have jumped off a train, but I don't recommend it unless you're
one of these stunt guys in Hollywood. Send it back to you, Darren. Thanks for doing that. Great net, great topic. W6 CJX, back to net control.
All right, Bob, I knew you were going to have some good stories from your firefighting days, but never in a million years did I think jumping from a moving train would be one of them. So kudos to you for for making it through unscathed. Well, maybe not quite unscathed, maybe pretty scratched and banged up, but a good story to tell nonetheless. So again, thanks for checking in and thanks for helping me out behind the scenes always. So. And let's take a peek over to the comment section. We got one commenter. I once needed to run a phone line to my apartment, but management wanted Pac Bell to do it for lots of money. So I put on a white tech smock, hard hat, and tool belt and did it myself. No one questioned me. Hey, look the part, do the part, right? As long as you look the part, usually nobody questions you. So good on you for getting it done. So awesome. I see Larry checking in there. KE6MAE. Larry, where's that beautiful radio voice of yours? Jump in on the RF side of things, and I haven't heard you in a while. Welcome to the net and welcome to the live stream. So, all right, let's keep moving on down the list here, and moving down the list, but moving up in the state. Oh, nope, we're not there yet. Not there yet. Not there yet, Jeff. I'm coming to you, though. AK6MB. I almost thought it was the other MB, but this one's Joe. Joe, welcome to the net.
KD6USN, AK6MB. Yeah, I was wondering there, Darren. I'm not quite up. I'm more like left, but over towards the coast. But interesting question you're asking. My wife calls me Mr. Safety, so you're not going to get one of those typical daredevil kinds of things out of me. But I think one of the scariest things I ever did was move across the country when I finished my schooling, moving about 2,500 miles from every place I grew up and every place I mostly ever visited. And that was a bit of a scare. You realize you're just alone there for a while. Took a little while to get my sea legs, but I've enjoyed it out here and made it my home. Found a wife, had a pretty good life out here. So it was a pretty good gamble, but it gave me butterflies when I did it. Not from a family of big travelers. So AK6 to the net.
All right, Joe. Well, like I said, when we started the net, everyone's level of crazy is different. And I would agree, moving cross country or moving far to another place, no friends, and have to kind of start life all over again is definitely a scary thing. I've definitely had my fair share of moving with my military escapades. So I know what it's like to pick up and start over and find new friends and do all that. So again, Joe, welcome for sharing that story, and thanks for checking in tonight. And let's continue moving on down the list here. KN6 India Whiskey Lima. Robert, good evening. Welcome to the Saturday Night Roundtable. Well, Robert, when you checked in, you had a good signal, but when you came back, you didn't. So wherever you moved to, you lost Papa 24. So maybe bump that power up, move a little bit further, or maybe outside. I don't know if you're on a handy talkie or what. Give it one more try. If 24 is not working for you, I'm not sure where in the Inland Empire area you are, but maybe 3 or 31 might be an option for you. But go ahead and give it another try, see if we can get that signal improved.
KN6IWL, this is Robert out on El Mirage Dry Lake.
Well, now I see you coming in on 38, and I'm intrigued how you went from 24 to 38, because those are pretty far apart. But you're coming in good there, so go ahead.
Thank you. Sorry about that. I am kind of in between repeaters, but I'm out here on El Mirage Dry Lake with a handheld, and we're doing a land speed test with the Southern California Timing Association land speed records. Not super crazy, just camping out in the dry lake. Thank you.
Well, very good, Robert. I would definitely say lots of crazy things happen on that dry lake. So trying to accomplish a land speed record, whether you're doing the driving or you're part of the crew that makes it happen, is definitely pretty crazy. So very cool, and thanks for checking in. I can't think of a past net where somebody checked in from the dry lake bed. So again, thanks for checking in, and be safe out there, and good luck on achieving that record that you're going for. So. All right, let's keep it moving. I'll do one more check-in on RF, and then we will circle back to the comment section on YouTube and see how things are going there. Just a quick peek. I see 26 people watching the live stream, so that's fantastic. All right, I'm up to Kilo November 6, Mike Romeo Golf. Chris, good evening. Welcome to the net.
Good evening, everybody. I'm on HT. Hopefully I'm coming in pretty good. Crazy things. Desert racing, motorcycles. I've had some good get-offs. At the same time, free soloing climbing. I want to say the most weird headspace I've been in where I was scared was just camping solo off my motorcycle. Let me reset. You get into the backwoods and like you're just alone. So yeah. Like you're not really prepared for it, and yeah. So that's it. Thank you for holding the net. Really enjoy it. Cheers, 73. Be clear. KN6 MRG.
All right, Chris, thanks for coming into the net tonight. And I have done some solo camping, and I enjoy the tranquility. I enjoy being in my own head sometimes, and just kind of kicking back and enjoying nature by myself. Can be kind of scary at times, right? You're on your own, and no one's there to help in case you have a situation or help you fight off the wild animals, depending on where you're at. But yeah, I do. Especially if you're hiking or climbing, and you mentioned free soloing. Now, I've done a lot of crazy things in my time, Chris, but free soloing is not one of them. I have done quite a bit of rock climbing, trad climbing, sport climbing. I've done some crack. That's crack climbing, guys. Get your head out of the gutter. But I've never done it without ropes, and that takes a level of crazy. But I do have a mad respect for the folks that do free solo. If you've never watched the documentary by Alex Honnold, probably one of the premier free soloists in the world, his story's pretty crazy on some of the things he's climbed, Half Dome and El Cap and all these major mountains, and he's all done it without a rope. So pretty crazy stuff. All right, thanks again, Chris. Let's keep on moving. Let's take a peek over at the comment section of things. And I see KAWMOS says, is Blue Ridge Repeater still up? I was trying to listen. Unfortunately, Blue Ridge is down at the moment. That is Papa 14 is down at the moment. So sorry about that. Hopefully there's another repeater in your area that you're able to get to, and you can check in. If not, go ahead and drop your comment there in the live stream or in the comments, and I will read it on the air for you. All right, let's keep on moving down the list. KG6 Alpha Quebec. I didn't get a name with it. Welcome to the net.
kept targets over there, and we had two kinds of jets that we would modify for remote control. One was the F-86 Beta, and the other was the F-4 Phantom. Anyway, they got me to qualify as a setup pilot. That meant that you would turn, get in the jet, turn it, go through all these checks, and then take it out on the runway, and then climb out of it, close the cockpit, and then the remote control pilot in another building would take control of the jet, and then we would go off on the op. So on the day that they had me to, learn how to do that, they had a pilot come out on a F-86 Sabre is a single-stick jet. There's only one seat, single engine. And I'm in the jet with the canopy opening and turning and everything. He's standing on the side of the jet, showing me, how to move the throttle, what to do with the brakes, the nose gearing, nose wheel steering, and everything. And looking back, I just thought that was very dangerous. But now I didn't become a setup pilot in the F-4 Phantom. Those were two-seaters. I don't know if they got in the back seat with them or what. But this pilot, while this jet was turning, was on the side of the cockpit showing me how to control it, what to do. So that was something. I never got that. KG6 AAQ is back on that.
All right, KG6AAQ. That story sounded amazing. The only problem is the static was almost too much to get through. I could tell you were talking about your aviation escapades in tactical aircraft, and I would love to hear more about it. So let's see if we can try to improve that signal and try again. Are you near a different repeater, or maybe try switching repeaters or upping the power a little bit? Because I really want to try to hear the story you have to tell. Give it one more try. If not, we'll move on. But give it one more try if you can.
Net control, how's my signal now?
Yeah, it's pretty rough. You're the second one that's come in on Papa 1 that's really rough. So I'm wondering, are you guys just having a bad propagation night, or is Papa 1 acting up on us? But no, you're not coming in good enough to share the story cleanly. I'll say if you can find another repeater nearby, go ahead and give me another recheck. Come back again, but we'll move on down the list, and we'll see if we can catch you up again, because I really do want to hear the story you have to share. All right, my other good buddy behind the scenes, this is the Saturday Night Roundtable is turned into a little bit of a production, if you can't tell, and I need a little bit of a team behind me to help keep things running. So Bob, W6CJX, and this guy right here, Evo, KO6BKX, are my partners in crime, and they're always there to lend a hand and help. So much appreciated to you two, and Evo, welcome to the net.
Well, good evening, Darren. I just figured out that my hand mic is setting off the shredder underneath my desk, so I need to step away from that. Am I coming through, by the way?
Yep, you and the shredder are coming through just fine.
All right. The first time it happened, I thought, oh, it's just a coincidence, and now I key up again, and it does happen again. So, anyways, not so much a scary experience, more so a thrilling one, and one that I will never forget is at the end of my boot camp in the military service in Belgium. I got an opportunity to fly in the C-130 Hercules with the back open, and it wasn't too long of a flight, but it was very thrilling. And like I said, something I'll never forget. Now, I do have a crazy story for you. It's a friend of mine, also in Belgium, who went to the Sailors' Quarter in Antwerp, and he went out. Night of drinking, and he got pretty hammered. And the next day, when he woke up, he noticed that he had a Viking tattoo covering his whole forearm, and he had no idea who it did, when it happened. It must have happened that night sometime, but that was probably the craziest thing that I've ever heard people experiencing. All right, with that, I'll give it back to you, Darren. KO6 PKX.
Well, I can say this because I was one. That sounds like the best drunken sailor story I've ever heard. Fair share of waking up going, how the hell did that happen, or where did that come from? Apologize for the third-party traffic there. The dog's welcoming my daughter home. But again, thanks, Evo, for sharing. And it's amazing what RF interference does, right? It sets off all kinds of crazy things in the office there. So I'll let you tend to that shredder. But, I'd say thrilling is just as good as crazy. So thanks for sharing that story. All right, let's take a look at the comments section and see what's going on. Chris B says, "Thank you. Chris Sharma is making a bid for the climbing in the next Olympics." So I mentioned the climber Alex Honnold. Chris Sharma is another amazing rock climber that I looked up to, a professional rock climber, and I think he's getting up there in years because he was climbing when I was climbing. And I was in my younger days, so if Chris Sharma's making a bid for the Olympics, but I could see that because he was that good. So, all right, said there could be a problem with Papa One. Worked fine on Wednesday, Friday, and then we received strong. And he says he's recharging his HT batteries. Yeah, I'm not ruling out that Papa One isn't acting up because we've had multiple check-ins from Papa One that just didn't sound very good. So. The good news is the other part of my job is the tech team, and we will look into and see what's going on with Papa One for sure. All right, let's go. Finally getting to the guy I was talking about earlier, going down my list, but going all the way up in Northern California. Jeff, AB6MB, up there in the Bay Area. Welcome to the Papa Systems Saturday Night Roundtable. Did I take too long to get to you, Jeff? AB6MB, are you out there? All right, he might have to step away. We'll keep the ear open to see if he pops back in there. I see Papa One coming on there and people trying to key it, so it still sounds real noisy. But we'll see what's going on there. All right, I'm at the bottom of my list. I'm getting behind the scenes text traffic, but we'll see what that has to say. But let's see if anyone else out there. Let me go and re-ID real quick, and then we'll get back at it with another list. Stand by. All right, my name here is Darren. This is WD6USN with the Papa System Saturday Night Roundtable, and we're talking about thrilling stories throughout your life, something crazy that you did, or maybe something that's crazy that's on your bucket list. Thrilling, crazy, it doesn't matter. Share with us what you want to achieve in life or what you've already achieved that was quite unusual. And that's kind of what we're talking about tonight. So let's take another round of check-ins and see if anyone else wants to share their story. Anyone, anywhere, give me that call sign phonetically with your first name. Come now. All right, let's pause real quick. That station that came in on Papa 3 just now, it didn't come through very clear. Give it another try.
Clear, I'll just continue listening.
So, Larry, I'm hearing you just fine, but I think there's somebody talking over you in Rancho Cucamonga, and that signal I cannot pick out. So, Larry, come back again.
This is Larry, KE6MAE, here in Calamasa, California. Let me know if I have it, and I'll tell my brief story.
I got you loud and clear, Larry. Let me keep taking the list, and then I will come back to you on the first one on this round. So let me keep taking a few more check-ins, and then we'll come back to you. All right, anyone, anywhere, keep them coming.
Alpha India 6 Bravo X-ray. Zulu, Michael, Papa 36.
All right, I got you, Keith, and somebody doubled with Keith. Come back again if you just tried to check in.
Whiskey 7 Victor Yankee Zulu, Michael, Papa 1.
All right, I got you, Michael. Keep the check-ins coming. Anyone, anywhere, come now.
Whiskey 6 Sierra Juliet Mike, this is Sam.
All right, anyone else want to get in on the discussion? Come now.
Kilo Oscar 6 Juliet Quebec Victor, Brennan.
All right, I got a Brennan, and there was somebody that doubled with Brennan. If you are not Brennan and you just tried to check in, come back again.
KO6 HRX on a recheck.
All right, I got you on the recheck.
6 HAL on a recheck.
All right, got you, Hal, on the recheck. Anyone else with a recheck?
This is Whiskey 6 Sierra Juliet Mike, Sam.
Yep, I got you on the list, Sam. We'll get to you. And let's draw the list there. That's a good third round. And once again, my name here is Darren. Call sign here is Whiskey Delta 6, United States Navy. And we're talking about things that you've done in your life that are a little bit thrilling, crazy, or maybe something that's on your bucket list that you haven't quite yet achieved that you want to get to. We're sharing those crazy stories out there. So let's get to the top of the third round list. KE6MAE. Haven't heard of much lately. Larry, it's good to hear you out there. Welcome to the net.
KE6MAE. I've been listening most of the time. If I don't have too much to chime in, I'll just continue listening. Enjoy your nets. Probably the most thrilling thing was I was back very heavy into four-wheeling back in the 80s and early 90s. And we did Black Bear Pass in Colorado. That is one exciting and thrilling and scary moment when you come over the hill and you stop and you look out over this valley into Telluride, about 2,000 feet down, and the road is switchback that even a CJ7 has to make a three-point turn. And you sure don't want to miss that three-point turn because it's a long way down. That was probably the scariest I've ever been, and I was at some pretty hairy things in my four-wheeling career way back then. Now, I've lived to a ripe old age, and I guess I haven't done too many crazy things. Glad you can catch me yet. You know, San Diego is about, 30 miles from me, and I'm on an 878 with just an aftermarket antenna. I'm surprised it comes in so well. KE6MAE.
It would help if I unmute my mic, right? Well, Larry, thanks for coming in and sharing. Yeah, I've been on a few of those roads where if you just don't take the turn right, you know, you're going to either, worst case, you go into oncoming traffic, but even worse, you go off the edge of the cliff. So, yeah, good. Usually pretty thrilling. I'm glad I never pushed my skill level to where my skills or my talent ran out when I was in my sport bike days. But yeah, I learned a few good lessons on my bike for sure. All right, Larry, again, thank you for swinging by. Glad you're always listening in, and you're always welcome to check in. So, all right, let's another good buddy of mine, AI6BX. Keith, good to hear you on the net. Welcome to the Saturday Night Roundtable.
Hey, good evening. Hey, Darren, let me give you a quick signal check. I've been bouncing in and out of repeaters here. 36, am I coming in?
I'm hearing you great on 36. Keep it coming.
All right, started out on 28, hit 36, or 35, 19, and now 36. Let's see, so extreme running, 100-mile ultra marathons, single track trails, that's just kind of the crazy. Mountain biking, done some pretty hairy stuff there, and Larry had me thinking a couple of those tight turns that every now and then you hit some loose sand and you end up sliding down the side of the hill a bit with some thorns. But I would say my craziest was back in my college days, back when they still had signal trestles down on the tracks that go through San Mateo Canyon, Union Pacific tracks. We used to climb up on the signal trestles, and when the stack trains started coming through, we dropped down from the trestle onto the top of the train, and we ride it out. Sometimes that thing stopped out in, Banning area. Other times you were riding that sucker all the way out to Arizona. A lot of fun, but probably not the smartest thing to do in your life. AI6BX.
Well, you and I have shared some stories on the mountain bike for sure. I've definitely done my fair share of launching my bike off of jumps that I probably shouldn't be doing at my age, but, you only live once, right? As the young kids say, YOLO. But jumping on a moving train and riding it sounds... I'm in. I'm in if you want to give it another try for old time's sake. Just tell me where and when we need to be. We'll see if Cecil can bail us out once we get in trouble. But thanks for jumping in there and sharing that, Keith. And I'm enjoying some of the crazy stories that the membership, the Papa members have gotten themselves involved with. So fantastic. All right, let's keep moving down the list here. The net is going into the night here. I'm enjoying it. Whiskey 7, Victor Yankee Zulu. Michael, welcome to the net.
Hello, Ned. Thanks for having me. This is Michael. So many close calls in life, but not a whole bunch of super notable singular events that I could recall right now. Put a skydiving out there, crazy car racing in the day. But those ones that sneak up on you when you think you're just cruising along, and then it turns into a super dangerous situation that you have to look out for. That I hope to God I can educate my kids about as they grow up. But I thank you for the net. I'm really enjoying hearing everybody's stories. And thank you so much. I'll send it back to Ned.
All right, Michael, I got most of what you said. Unfortunately, you're coming through Thousand Oaks, and we're having a little bit of an internet issue on Thousand Oaks. The tech team was up there last week checking in on things and seeing what we need to upgrade the site. So we have the fix, or at least the idea of the fix ready to go, but it sounds like it's still misbehaving on us. So you were picket fencing, and we were getting about every third word you had to say. So I don't know if you're within reach of Papa 30. If you want to swap to Papa 30 and give that a try real quick, let me know if that's possible. If not, we'll move on down the list. But give 30 a try real quick if you can.
Sure thing. Here I am on 30. I'll keep it short and send it right back to Net. Thank you for the net. Yeah, 26 seems to still have some issues. Anyhow, thank you. W7BYZ.
You sound perfect on 30. Do you want to reshare what you had to say? If not, I'll move on. But yeah, you're coming through great on 30.
Oh no, I'm done now. It's escaped me. I can only say it once, but I'll wait till next net. Thanks so much. Let's open it up to the rest of the stories.
All right, Michael, I understand. Well, thanks for stopping by, and we'll get 26 fixed here shortly. So, all right, let's. I know he's out there. Maybe he's home by now. He checked in before the net started down there in the Imperial Valley. We'll check in with him and see where he's at. W6 Sierra Juliet Mike Sam, welcome to the net.
Hi, Darren. This is Sam, Whiskey 6 Sierra Juliet Mike, and I'm right now on Papa 11 on Alpine, headed into San Diego. So I was thinking and listening and thinking and listening. I keep thinking, well, it doesn't sound really crazy. Always people say the type of trips that we do are pretty crazy. My wife and I enjoy wildlife photography, and we end up going to jungles and cloud forests and the Pantanal and places like that quite a bit. And I don't know, in those times I was just thinking, wow, the roads, yeah, they're pretty sketchy going down from the Andes into the Madre de Dios River. It's one of those like famous roads where it's pretty sketchy and it's just constant landslides and one-lane roads, and there are, all muddy and stuff. Then I was thinking diving and go, oh, well, yeah, I used to be a diver, and I did the Blue Hole in Belize, and I've been diving at night, which I agree. That is one of my favorite things when I was diving at nighttime. Or diving, free diving with the sage whales and the elephant seals in Baja with my son. Although it's probably not the most adrenaline thing, but it's certainly my favorite thing. But I don't know, I think the actual going behind the camera and photographing wildlife makes you kind of isolated from the actual danger that you've gone through to do these things, I suppose. So, yeah, interesting. But, yeah, I guess we do a lot of kind of sketchy things to get wildlife photography sometimes. Over.
Well, Sam, I much appreciated for checking in. I knew you were going to have a fantastic story to tell. For those that don't know, Sam just and takes an annual trip down to South America, and his most recent trip headed down there to Peru, I believe, deep into the Amazon, and was able to get into the Papa system with the power of digital and Starlink. So he has done some amazing, or he's visited some amazing locations in his pursuit of wildlife photography, and I got to meet him in person today at the luncheon and got to see some of his photos, and they are pretty amazing, Sam. So I look forward to hearing more stories and seeing more of your photos from your very dangerous trips down into South America, for sure. That is definitely some of the crazy moments in life, for sure. And I'm glad you're safe and you're able to share those stories with us. So again, Sam, thanks. Be safe on the rest of your trip home, and hopefully we kept you entertained on your drive. All right, we're getting down to the bottom of the list here. I've got a couple more to go, but we're up to KO6 Juliet, Quebec, Victor Brennan. Welcome to the Saturday Night Roundtable.
Hey everybody, thanks for taking the time to do this. I think everybody's stories are pretty interesting. Something that I think is crazy now, I didn't think back then, but I've been riding motorcycles for about 8 years, and early on me and a buddy would take our bikes up to the hills and just rip through the hills. And we had Harleys, we weren't cruising, we were riding fast through the hills, curves, ups and downs. One night there's this cow in the middle of the road, which came to a halt, and fortunately nothing bad ever happened. There was some unforeseen gravel and minor skids and whatnot, but I have a second story that I'd like to share. I think it's kind of funny. It's one when I was a kid. My brothers and I, we had paintball guns, and we would take turns running around the backyard being moving targets for each other. So that's that, and thanks for holding the net. This is KO6JQB.
All right, Brendan, you made me laugh because I have a similar story, and I'm sure we all have done, well, maybe, I don't know, maybe maybe not everyone's done this, but I didn't have a paintball gun, but I did have a pellet gun, and they had the little lever action pump on them, and me and my buddies would have one pump BB gun fights with each other, and of course there was always that one person who just pumped it more than once, and usually hit you with something that hurt pretty good. So I think I would have liked the paintballs over the metal steel ball hitting you with a couple of pumps behind it. But yep, I've definitely shared that, and I've done a few stupid things on a motorcycle myself. I look back on it now and say, yeah, that was pretty crazy, but it was a life lesson, and I learned from it, and I don't think I'd do it now. So. But much appreciated for jumping in and sharing that with us. I've neglected the comment section a little bit here on the live stream side of things. Still got about 17 people watching, so things are starting to tailor down. But let's take a look in the comments here. The Papa One situation saying, good case for getting my clear node and all-star working. Yeah. All right. What would be the best repeater for Victorville right now? Victorville, so on the way to Vegas, unfortunately, would be Papa 35 turquoise, but I think I'm looking at the list right now. 35 is on. So 35 should get you, if you're in the Victorville area, that should be your repeater you should be trying to get in on. So, all right. All right. I think that's all the comments that we're all caught up. There's a couple people trying to help out a few other peoples on what repeater to use. So let's get into some of the rechecks. KO6HRX with a recheck. Go ahead.
Yeah, this is Gary. I'm going to make this one pretty quick, but the list goes on forever. Probably for almost everyone that's been out here. This one really sticks in my head. 20 years old, with one of the guys I worked with in a gas station before I wound up taking it over, out repossessing cars at 1 o'clock in the morning, 2 o'clock in the morning, and I'll never forget the time we were shot at. That's something that it sticks with you when you're trying to snag a car from somebody and they don't want to give it up. And those were some of the fun times, yet scary times back there in Chicago. Anyway, this KO6HRX, back to net control.
AI6BX, comment.
All right, got your comment, and thanks for coming back on the recheck. And you mentioned getting shot at. I can add that to the list. I ended up in helicopter aviation in the military. You tend to go into several combat zones. So I've definitely been shot at, and that's definitely wakes you up when the first time that happens. So, all right, Keith, AI6BX with a recheck. Go ahead.
Yeah, for the station asking what repeater to use for Victorville, Papa 36, located up on Heaps Peak. It's got a great coverage back into the high desert, almost to Barstow.
Okay, there you go. And I see him in the comment section. He says he's on 36. So, perfect. Papa helping Papa out right there, making sure everyone get into the net. And let's move to my last recheck, N6HAL. Hal, welcome for your recheck.
N6HAL. Thanks, Darren. That phrase you were looking for on that red line was two-man concept. And just to clarify, it's two men with the same knowledge and purpose. And I was protecting my health and safety, and the perimeter guard was out there watching me and making sure I didn't fall asleep or get hurt. So we kind of halfway covered it. So enough on that. I do have kind of a crazy, silly story to tell about my teenage years. Break. I was spending a night at a friend's house, lifetime friend, and they were putting the highway through San Marcos, Highway 78, and they were building bridges. And there was one by my friend's house. Well, in the middle of the night, we decided to walk down to that bridge and camp out overnight in our sleeping bags on the bridge. Break. Well, we found an outhouse up there, and, kids in outhouses, they do crazy things. And we didn't tip it over, but we found a roll of toilet paper inside. And we took that roll of toilet paper and halfway rolled some out, lit the bottom on fire, and let the roll down from the bridge, hanging in front of the street underneath. Well, just so happens that my friend's father, and the house was within sight of that bridge, he was the fire chief. And he drove out there and just chewed us a new one. And kind of an ironic story to that, 20 years later, he's the fire chief that hired me on the fire department. So that was kind of a silly story for me. But it was a lot of fun. And I did add one more thing, remembered one more thing on my bucket list. Is I've been on seven or eight cruises on large cruise ships, but I've always wanted to go on a 60-foot masted sailing ship and cruise on one of those. But my wife doesn't want to do that, so I don't know how I'm going to work that one out. Thanks again, Darren. N6HAL, back to the net.
Well, Hal, if you need a sailor buddy to go along with you on a on a masted sailing ship, I'm your guy. So, I have not done a cruise, believe it or not. I spent 30 years in the Navy, so I've done plenty of cruises. But my cruises were on combat ships, warships, aircraft carriers, destroyers, you name it. I've run the gambit of ships that you can put a helicopter on. I've been on it. So because of that, I've never felt the want or urge to go on a cruise, but I recognize that those are much different types of cruises than what I was doing. So I think I'm reaching the point in my post-military retirement where I'm willing to go on a cruise, but I think I want to do the one in Alaska and go up there into the icebergs and see that cruise. So I'm with you, Hal. I'll join you on that one if the wife doesn't want to go. All right. With that, I am out of list. I am out of comment section, and we are about an hour and a half in the net, but I wouldn't feel right if I didn't at least take a final call. So throwing it out there, final call. If you want to jump in on the conversation, we're talking about bucket list things, crazy things you've done in life, or crazy things you want to get done before you leave this earth. That's kind of what we're chatting about. So anyone, anywhere, last chance to get in. Come now.
Whiskey Tango 6 Tango.
All right. I will say that's the end of the list then, and we will wrap it up with Brian. Whiskey Tango 6 Tango, wrap up this great net for us. Over to you.
Thanks, Darren. On Papa 1 for reference. I hope it sounds good. Forgot the bucket list aspect of this. My deep desire is to see the northern lights up in the big sky in person and enjoy them. That's my bucket list item. This has been an awesome net. This has been a lot of great stories and learning a lot about people, and this is a great Saturday night. Your format really works. Whiskey Tango 6 Tango 73.
Well, thank you, Brian. Much appreciated. It is pretty cool to see, to hear the stories of some of the crazy things that Papa members have done, or even the guests that are checking in. When you know them, and then you hear some of the stories that they have done in their life, and they don't quite match up with the type of personality that you thought they had. It's kind of a unique part of it. So I thought that was pretty good too. And you'll have to join me on that cruise to Alaska. We'll go see the Northern Lights. That sounds like a great idea. So thanks for checking in on Papa One and letting us know it's working just fine, because your signal was great. So it just must be some of those check-ins on the outskirts that are just not getting good propagation. So with that said, before I sign off, let's take a quick run through the comment section. And I see Chris B does say, in Baja, I've almost run into a cow and a horse on my bike. The worst was 90 miles per hour on the dirt with a bull. That could be pretty tough. I could imagine that would not end well. I'm thinking the bull's going to win that one, Chris. But thanks for sharing that in the comments. It says, thanks, Darren. Love the live cast and hosting the net. Always fun. KC6WTN. Jeff, thank you for checking in on both RF and on the live stream. Hopefully we get that connection to Papa One a little better for you there. And Gary says, another fantastic night. Thanks, Darren. Really appreciate it, guys. Saturday night's a tough night to have a net, right? Because even if you go out just once a week, usually it's on a Saturday night. So I try to do things to keep people entertained and make it fun. And yeah, that's kind of why I do these crazy things with live streams. So with that said, I'm going to draw the net to a close. I will keep the live stream up for a few more minutes after I close the net. If you guys want to continue any comments there or talk about what I've got going on in the ham shack here, this is always a work in progress. I keep changing things. So let me close things up. I want to say thank you to Cecil and all the net controllers that work so hard behind the scenes to make the Papa system great. We've got a net every night of the week and sometimes multiple nets on a given night. So I want to also thank all the tech team members that keep all the mountaintops and maintain the system behind the scenes. I want to thank the Papa system for allowing me to be the net controller of this crazy net, the Saturday Night Roundtable. I wish everyone a safe rest of your weekend. And with that, I will now call the net closed, and I will be returning the repeater system back to normal amateur use. Good night, guys, and I will see you on the live stream side. All right, for those of you that are sticking around on the live stream, I see 15 of you still kicking out there. All done on the RF side. I will keep things running just for a few more minutes.
KC6WTN, can I get a radio check on my HT Papa One?
Let me turn the volume. Let me kill the RF so you guys are not hearing the RF come through on the live stream side. There we go. That's off. All right, so we are just on live stream now. I see you guys commenting. Bob Wan, thank you for hosting the net. Thank you, Bob, for stopping by and being a regular on the Saturday night. Hal, Darren, this is that bottom mic on your tower, a Motorola. So which one, Hal? So this stack right here is all Motorola's. These are all XTL 5000s. This one is a 440. This one's a 900 megahertz. And this hole right here is going to be for my VHF that arrives on Tuesday. And these are the hand mics for those three radios, even though that one's not there. So if that's what you were referring to, yes, those are all Motorola's. Very cute. Very cool setup. Yeah, it's I've been selling off a lot of radios, and I've been moving into the Motorola world. So I just really enjoy Motorola. If you see all the handhelds over here, those are all Motorola's in various modes. I've got some UHF and 900 megahertz handhelds as well. So yeah, big Motorola guy. Very cool setup. Yeah, thank you, Kevin. Or no, sorry. Kevitivity. Some of the names on the YouTube names. All right. With that said, guys, I think I'm going to start wrapping things up. I really do appreciate you guys coming to the live stream side of things. Like I said, I do this once a month just because it's a little bit tasking to run all the streaming software as well as keep an eye on the system. That's why I have some of those guys in the background helping me out. But really do appreciate you helping me bring a unique aspect to the Saturday Night Roundtable and the Papa System nets. So, all right, I'm going to call that a night, guys, and shut down the live stream. We will see you next month when we have another crazy topic to discuss. All right, guys, take care, and like I said, on the analog side, have a great rest of your weekend.